Well, good morning, my friend, and welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. It is Thursday morning. It is February the 6th, and it is good to have you along with me on this Thursday morning. And as we get ready for the weekend here at the Maranatha Baptist Church, looking forward to what God's going to do. We're going to have baby dedication Sunday this coming Sunday, and certainly it's exciting to see what God's going to do. Great service last night. I got in my hand several cards here, people making a profession of faith. That was exciting last night. And one of them was that my daughter and I was able to lead someone to Christ on yesterday. They were in church last night. And exciting days to be able to serve the Lord. And I hope that you would stay faithful in serving Him, that you do what's right. And then I want to, of course, invite you to the Old Paths Conference coming up March 17, 18, and 19. Would you plan on it right now? And if you're coming, please register and start registering so we can get everything ready for you as you come. Looking forward to a great time in the Lord as we try to challenge people. The bush still burns. That is the theme of the conference. And I believe with all my heart, the fire ought to be burning inside of your soul. Boy, it burns in mine. And I want to show you some of the things that I do to keep that fire burning. Boy, how we need to do that. And I'd encourage you, register now, March 17, 18, and 19. Go to oldpathsconference.com, register there, and you'll be pleased with that if you come. Hey, I want to talk to you today from Matthew chapter 5, verse 12. The scripture says, rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Now, we all want God to give us great rewards. That's what we all want. But great reward is the result of an action. Always understand that. We want to be a happy people. But again, happiness is not a possession, but a result. We look at, I want to be happy. Okay, then do what brings happiness and you'll be happy. We want to live a life of rejoicing. But rejoicing, again, is the result of doing certain actions. Matthew chapter 5 is the record of teaching what we call the Beatitudes. Now, the Beatitudes are what give the great reward. So if we do what God taught, we will find joy, gladness, and great reward. Now, I believe we're using the wrong word when we call it the Beatitudes. Beatitudes are more about actions than attitudes, but the actions are what bring the results for which we look. So let me point this out. Jesus said, blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. This mourning is not grieving for myself, but mourning or grieving for others. So God makes me the conduit of comfort to those who mourn. But the great reward is I get comfort from my own hardships when I'm mourning for others in their time of grief. Jesus said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Meekness is power under control. So meekness is having the power to hurt others, but instead using that power to help them instead. You see, the result of meekness is gaining more to help others in their time of need than it is for me to use the power for myself. So I gain power, get this now, by using my power to help others. I don't use my power to build me up. I use my power to build others. Jesus said, blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Now, you don't get hungry until you do something that creates hunger. Now, in other words, when you get busy doing righteous acts, you become hungry for God to help you because you've burnt out spiritual energy out. And it results in hungering for the right things. Jesus said, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Again, you don't need mercy if you're not helping others. But people will hurt you as you help them, and your exercise of mercy, get this now, is what allows God to be merciful to you. So we could go through each verse and see that God rewards the actions. He rewards the pure in heart, those who live right. You get this now. He rewards the peacemakers, those who spend their lives telling others how to make peace with God through the gospel. God also rewards those who are persecuted for doing right. In all of these areas, my friend, when you look at what we call these Beatitudes, there is an action before the reward came. Now, God is a God who rewards the obedient actions of his children. Those who do nothing for God will not find any of these rewards because these rewards are a result of action. You'll never know these great rewards until you get into the Christian walk and start serving God, getting busy doing what God commands you to do. Get this now, the great result is a result of doing right, is it not? So you get upset with God over saying, well, you're not giving me happiness. I find no joy. Well, what are you doing to get the joy? You see, you got to do what God tells you to do. Now, I want to challenge you to get busy serving God. God has great rewards waiting for those who will do what they're supposed to do. He wants you to be a conduit. That's why he says, that's why he wants you to do something. They're not attitudes, they're actions. Every one of these things that God talks about are actions. If you call it, if anything, call it the be actions. That's what you want to call it, if anything. I know it's not a word, but the be actions. Why? Because you're doing action, you're doing something. And as you do that, God makes you the conduit for these things to others. And while you're being that conduit, you're enjoying God's blessing firsthand. So you get more than those you give to will ever get. God will make you a channel if you get busy serving Him. So the secret to joy, gladness, and great reward in the Christian life is found in doing one thing: serving God by helping others. Get busy serving God. My friend, you become that conduit from God to man, and you get to enjoy the benefits of it, and probably more. Let me put it this way, and I'll be done. It's like, when you put something through something, you never get as much out as you put in. Why? Because that conduit is going through, it absorbs some of it. So what is initially right here, where it initially comes in, it's not the same when it comes out over here. Same thing with God. Whatever I put in, God begins. Okay, I put in, try to help others, and God gives joy for me to help others. But I absorb the joy, but I still give it out. It's an overflow. It's a cup running over. That's the secret to the Christian life. God always gives you more than you give out, so it can run over to help others. That's the key. My friend, get busy serving God. You can find joy, gladness, and great reward. I hope this is a great help to you today. Now, let's remember today and throughout the remainder of this week, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great day, my